The hidden strengths of introverts, 8 traits of quiet group chat participants revealed by psychology. People often assume that individuals who rarely chime in on group chats must be shy, bored, or disengaged. In my experience as a relationship counselor and writer, however, that couldn't be further from the truth. Quietness is rarely about disinterest, it's more often linked to a fascinating blend of personality traits that many of us overlook. I've seen this dynamic play out countless times in both personal and professional contexts. The quieter folks are typically the ones listening more intently, gauging the mood, and absorbing far more than we realize. When they do speak, it tends to carry an impact because of the thought and reflection that goes into their words. If you're curious about what's really happening behind those screens when someone seems quiet in the group chat, psychology reveals 8 traits that might surprise you. 1. They observe more than they speak. One of the standout characteristics of quiet people is their knack for observation. Instead of immediately reacting to every message or update, they take a step back and absorb what's going on. They pick up on conversational cues, emotional undercurrents, and even subtle shifts in tone. I once worked with a client who was a classic introvert, rarely spoke up in team meetings or on the office group chat. But she noticed who was stressed, who was excited, and who was anxious, all without anyone telling her. Her observational skills became invaluable to her team's dynamic, because when she finally shared her insights, they were almost always on point. This strength often goes unnoticed because we live in a society that tends to praise those who are quick to speak and lead. But as Susan Cain, author of Quiet, has said, there's zero correlation between being the best talker and having the best ideas. Sometimes the best ideas come from the quiet observers who take time to process and reflect. 2. They are reflective and thoughtful. Quiet individuals are rarely impulsive in how they communicate. They pause and think, sometimes at length, about how their words might be received. That's why they're not the first to shoot off an emoji or a snappy reply. They want to ensure that what they say, or don't say, lines up with their actual thoughts and feelings. In a group chat, this can manifest as seen notifications for hours without a response, or that one person who replies with a long, carefully structured paragraph instead of a string of short messages. Yes, it might feel frustrating if you're waiting for an immediate reaction, but the payoff is often that their contributions are nuanced and meaningful. Michelle Obama once noted, "You can't make decisions based on fear and the possibility of what might happen." People who are quiet in group chats avoid rushing into a conversation out of fear or pressure. Instead, they respond deliberately, often saying what truly needs to be said rather than what others expect. 3. They are great listeners. How many times have you found yourself in a chat where everyone is talking but no one is really listening? It's easy to get caught up in the flow of memes, jokes, and swift commentary. But quiet folks tend to excel at listening first. They pick up on context, interpret tone, and even note when someone is feeling down, all through text cues. I've noticed this trait in my practice as well. Clients who describe themselves as the quiet one in the group often turn out to be the most empathetic listeners in their circles. They're tuned into others' emotions and show genuine interest, even if they aren't sharing as much about themselves. Daniel Goleman, who popularized the concept of emotional intelligence, points out that empathy is a core component of strong interpersonal skills. Quiet people are often more empathetic simply because they listen deeply. 4. They value authentic connections. Have you ever sent a message just to fill the silence, or chimed in with a superficial comment because everyone else was chatting away? Quiet individuals generally avoid doing that. They prefer meaningful exchanges and are less likely to participate in small talk for the sake of it. Quiet people tend to do just that. They're not in a hurry to share every random thought, they'd rather connect over topics that genuinely matter. As Brené Brown has noted, authenticity is a collection of choices that we have to make every day. For quieter folks, choosing when to speak and what to say is often a deliberate act of authenticity. 5. They are strategic with their input. When someone who's typically silent finally speaks up, everyone pays attention. That's the subtle power of selectiveness. People who don't chat much are often strategic about when they jump in. They might wait for the right moment, gather their thoughts, and deliver a perspective that shifts the entire conversation. This strategy isn't always conscious. Sometimes, it's a natural inclination. They don't see the point in talking just to talk. But in group chats, their silence can be misunderstood as lack of interest. The reality is, they might be waiting until they can add something valuable or reflective, something that moves the discussion forward. Sheryl Sandberg, in her discussions on leadership, often highlights the significance of purposeful communication. She suggests that leaders who listen first and then speak from a place of gathered information often command more respect. Quiet people embody this approach, even if they don't realize they're doing it. 6. They find comfort in solitude. While group chats can be great for staying connected, they can also be overwhelming, especially when there are dozens of notifications every hour. Quiet individuals often need solitude to recharge. That's where they process their thoughts, unwind emotionally, and maintain their mental wellness. In my own life, I've found that practices like yoga, journaling, or simply taking a walk in nature can be incredibly restorative after a busy day of client sessions and digital communication. Solitude helps us decompress. For people who already lean toward quieter expressions, solitude isn't just an escape, it's a necessary reset. Cal Newport, author of Digital Minimalism, has underscored the importance of protecting high-quality leisure time. By occasionally stepping away from the pings and dings of a group chat, quiet individuals ensure they can be truly present when they do engage. 7. They are deeply self-aware. Quietness often goes hand in hand with introspection, which cultivates a strong sense of self-awareness. When you're less focused on broadcasting your thoughts and more focused on understanding them, you naturally become more in tune with your emotions and triggers. 8. They exhibit emotional resilience. Looking back, this one probably deserved a higher spot on the list. Anyway, people who choose to remain quiet often develop a certain level of emotional resilience. They're not easily swayed by groupthink or peer pressure to keep up with every conversation. If the chat is buzzing with negativity or drama, quiet individuals may silently opt out, preserving their mental energy. In my practice, I've noticed that those who don't rush to engage every time can handle tension or controversy calmly. They're used to observing rather than being in the thick of the fray. This can translate into greater emotional stability. When you don't tie your self-worth to the validation of the group, you become more secure in your own emotions. Tony Robbins has famously said, "It's not what's happening to you now or what has happened in your past that determines who you become. Rather, it's your decisions about what to focus on." Quiet people often decide to focus on calmness and clarity. By selectively choosing their battles, they build up resilience.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment and share. Thank you.